Hello, and welcome to another episode of SportsWhitt.
We're sitting here with Gary Harris, first black man to be featured on Forbes magazine. Gary, how you doing, man?
I'm good, but I wasn't the first one.
You wasn't the first? No. But you know what? I already said it, so it's done. It's done. Yeah, just go ahead and take it. Yeah, in sports, who did you watch? Who did you watch in sports?
Of course, I'm a Michael Jordan fan. I'm from Chicago. So Michael Jordan was my inspiration to begin in my career. Because nobody could stop him, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And since nobody could stop him, I was in an environment where there were no black people. So I would literally watch Michael Jordan tapes. And I would go to work with the same attitude because I was on a trading desk and there were no black people. So the whole room was trying to stop me from being successful. But I would watch Michael Jordan overcome defenses. And so literally I would watch the Bulls teams to stay motivated to go to work every day.
All right, well, there's a new guy in the NBA. Well, I'm not gonna say he's new, but this generation, he's the man. So let me ask you this. I gotta throw it out there. Who's the GOAT, LeBron or Michael?
So first off, I think you gotta take Michael Jordan out of the league. There's nobody like him. He increased the league's value by over 2,800%. He made basketball more popular than soccer. No one has done that. And now they're behind football today. All right, so when you look at Michael Jordan, I think a better comparison to LeBron would be Magic Johnson. Because LeBron's more of a field general, in my opinion, right? He sees the floor well. I think the only comparison you can make to Michael is probably Kobe. And I got Kobe behind Mike. Everybody's behind Mike. Now, I know you might be from Detroit or somewhere, and you might think that you had somebody to compete. But what you have to measure is impact, right? You got to measure impact. And all the opportunities that exist today for everybody else exist because of what that man did. Now, Kobe Bryant had an incredible work ethic that broke my heart, what happened recently. And I wasn't really a Kobe fan, but I respected his work ethic. I respected his drive. I felt like for a long time in his career, he was kind of held back. And I wasn't surprised when he kind of wilded out a little bit. But I thought he was really just coming into his own when he lost his life. I felt like he was really turning the corner, like being that man that a lot of men could look to. He was able to impact off the court and in so many different spaces. So I really respect, my heart goes out to his family. But we're talking about on the court, the GOAT is unquestionably Michael Jordan. And I'm not saying that just comes from Chicago. I'm saying that as a basketball fan. I'm saying that the way the game was played today, you can't touch the guys. Of course they're going to score more. If you couldn't have put your hands on Michael Jordan, what do you think he would have did back then?
Oh, he'd have scored at least 40 a game.
Right, and he was clairvoyant. Mike could see the game before it happened. Only 3 players have possessed that power. Magic Johnson, what's his name? The white boy, what's his name?
Larry Bird,
and Michael Jordan. They could see him play before it happened. And no matter where you were, I'm from Chicago. We knew when you got here, we didn't care what the score was. I'm telling you, no one has ever had that same level of confidence in LeBron. And I love LeBron. I love LeBron for what he does off the court, even more than what he does on the court. Make no mistake, I'm a LeBron fan. Today I cheer for LeBron. But imagine a guy that came to the court, no matter where you were, we'd be down by 20 points in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left. And we got number 23, we gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Right? And no other player has inspired that, right? You don't have that confidence in any other player ever in history. All right, I'm done.
Now you're a financial advisor and everything. Now I know I'm not gonna get too deep on it, but just kind of like just touch bases on exactly what it is that you do.
So I manage money for fairly successful people and a couple institutions, but what I do for individuals, think like ball players or any professional person trying to build wealth, we don't understand wealth as a people collectively. We view it as income. Most of us in college were like, I'm gonna be a 6-figure guy. We say that kind of small time. That's current income. Wealth is accumulated savings. And the reality is life interrupts savings. So I built a model, which we're planning for a patent literally this month, that shows you how to position assets, keep them growing while still having access, liquidity, and control. So that you can use the dollars, but not take them out of position so they can keep growing for you. And it's shielded from creditors, and built correctly, I can also shield it from taxes, even when you collect it. That's hard, but that's why we're applying for a patent. It's all legal, right?
So growing up in here in the city of Chicago, you also obviously had someone had a great impact on you as you grew up.
Absolutely.
And who are you impacting these days? How are you impacting the youth these days?
So I've got some proteges I'm training on my model. I try to give as much as I can to communities and schools, but I make sure I stop on the street. If I see a young man wilding out, a lot of times we treat them like we're afraid of them. Right? I don't treat them that way. I remember when I was wilding out as a young man, and when an older man came to me and corrected me, I humbled out. But that's been my experience. No matter what was going on, if I approach them, it can be a group of them, they humble out. I think a lot of young men are looking for leadership, and too many of us aren't providing that leadership. So I want to point something out too, because we get a bad rep. People say we don't take care of our children. In 2013, the Center for Disease Control did a study, and it showed that black men were more committed to their children than any other group in America, white men included. So a lot of the things we hear about what's happening in the cities is mostly economic, a lack of opportunity. And when you marginalize people, there's only 4 economies in the country. You're a trust fund baby, you got a job, or you have your own business, or you're on welfare. Outside of that is crime. So you look at young people who can't get an opportunity to actually get into something, well, they still got to eat. So they're going to find a way to make a living. Some of our heroes, people like Jay-Z, he got the capital to start that business in the street. But now we want to look past that. And I don't fault them for it. There was nothing else available to them. So black people, black young men tend to be, they're aspiring. They're looking for opportunity. So if we don't give them an opportunity, if the society marginalizes them out of everything, they're going to do what they have to survive. And that'd be true of any group anywhere in the world, not just our kids.
Being a financial advisor for for a league that's constantly growing, what are some of the issues you see with the young men and that they deal with these days?
Well, when they get money so young. So you're 19 years old and you get a contract. You're 21 years old. You got a multi-million-dollar contract. You have no experience with money, right? Because you came from the hood, so you feel like it's gonna last forever. And most of them use whatever advisor their agent recommended. And 90% of them go broke 5 years after they finish the league. That should say to you, you need to look outside of that environment. While you're young and you're making money, at that time, when it's all new to you, that's when it's time to start squaring away for the future. You can have something to burn up. I know you got to buy your new car. I know you want to buy my house. We can put that in place, but also position you so that after you leave the game, you never have to go look for a job. And you never have to worry about your wealth after that. But the problem is, the challenge I have is getting access to young players, because it's typically being steered by their agent. And they have a relationship with an institution, and a lot of them don't understand it as well. So they're doing what they think is right, and instead of doing a disservice, because they've never had a formal education in the space. They don't know what to do, and they lead them to wolves who take advantage of it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Mr. Harris, it sounds like something with our school systems. In the inner cities, we have leaders that put teachers in the classroom who can't relate to us.
Right.
And that kind of sounds like the agents are putting us in contact with people that can't relate to where we come from and advising our finances.
So what you just described is a thing called alignment. And so we talk about alignment. First off, how is he compensated? I'm a fiduciary, which means as you become more successful, I become more successful. If you start to fall off, I fall off. So what that translates to is all my advice is going to be in the direction of helping you get richer so I can make more money, right? So first thing. Second thing is, are they culturally aligned with you? In other words, it ain't a priority to everybody to make sure mom is squared away. As well as some of the guys we came up in the hood with, right? Who may have blocked and tackled for us so we didn't get caught up in the street. So we feel owing to those people as well. So that has to be incorporated in a meaningful way that doesn't bankrupt us. But we're not prepared as a culture to walk away from the people who helped us in the beginning. So unfortunately, when they actually get in front of somebody that's not culturally aligned with them, there's no consideration for that. So they wind up making bad choices trying to fulfill that. But if you incorporate it into the plan, now we don't have to worry about it bankrupting us, and we can support our friends in a way that's meaningful to them as well as to you as an individual. You may be you're the purse, but a lot of them got good business ideas. They need to be vetted, and they need the infrastructure around them. If that's the guy to help you live so you can go on to play basketball, you want to take care of them. You need to know how to do it in a way that makes sense.
And I got one last question for you. I'm going to hand it back over to Clint. Everybody come up here, they're Chicago native.
Right.
Bulls.
Bulls, Bulls.
Okay? I haven't heard much about the Bears, but I'm a baseball guy.
Okay.
It might be a silly question, but White Sox or Cubs?
White Sox.
White Sox.
All day long.
Chi-town.
Southside.
Southside,
What?
baby.
You curious? Boys in black all the time. 100%. No questions. All right? You know.
I'm a Yankees fan. I don't have much to say, but I like the White Sox over the.
Fan.
I'm a Yankees fan. I like Jermaine Dye. Those boys.
Yeah, get out of here. Them Yankees out of here. Now, I was watching ESPN today, and they had a question, who is more revered here in Chicago, Michael Jordan or Walter Payton? I mean, who would you think?
Without exception, be Michael Jordan. However, respect all day long. Walter Payton was love. He was sweetness, right? And he made the difference, and he's a great player. I think he hasn't had his just due even to this day. I think, I met his son, who I think is the birth of sweetness, right? I think his son is an awesome guy. And I feel like if they had the right marketing team around him, then his legacy should be as big as Michael Jordan's.
Because I always say that Barry Sanders is the greatest running back of all time. But that's just in my opinion. No, see, but I say Walter Payton is the greatest football player of all time. You see, now that's the difference there, because Walter Payton did everything.
And he was a team player. I never forget they didn't let him carry the ball into the end zone when they played the Super Bowl. And the fact is, we wouldn't have got there without him. And so I feel like, a lot of people like him haven't been recognized in Chicago. I mean, not just in sports, but in business. I feel like we're probably the most marginalized city. But across the board, black people are marginalized. If you do the math, in any space, there's only 2% of us there. 2% are partners in law firms. 2% are doctors, right? 2% is like the only number they let us get to. It's an illusion of inclusion.
What's going on, folks? It's your SportsWhitt host here, Levon Whitaker. I just want you all to know to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, be sure to follow me on SportsWhitt.com. Thank you.